Hello. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna kind of use this time to kind of tell my story, and I genuinely hope it reaches the ears and wherever where it needs to go. But so I was working on the I was working for the city of Calgary on the Shoaldice Park last year when there was that emergency pipe burst. Then all of Shoaldice, they closed it all down, the baseball diamonds and so on. They were all flooded out off 16th Avenue. I worked for a company called Inside Out Landscaping, who subcontracted for the city. They were subcontractors, I think maybe still are, shouldn't be. Either way, this is, and I'll say this adamantly, and this is without prejudice, I guess, this entire situation, because it's 100% true. And it's been going on for over a year, and I will get my remedy. I will get justice. It's just so many people involved to block this up, because it's just gonna, but either way. So I'm working on there. The entire site is under the project management of a company called Rocky Cross Construction, DKI. They were the primary contractor under the city of Calgary, because all of the Shoaldice land is owned by the city of Calgary. So this really all will boil down to occupational health and safety, to understand the whole legislated, mandated, clear as your eyes can see and read and comprehend. And it's just been incredible what Danielle Smith, the power that she has to have kept this under wraps is unreal. So I don't know how long I can make these videos. I guess this is going to be as long as it is. Hopefully it goes on and I keep the interest of people, especially ones that can do something for me. So I'm working there. I love it. I'm a equipment operator. My history in Calgary is super rich. I've lived here my whole life. I'm 63. Born and raised here. I ran all kinds of stuff. I even had different from hard labor all the way to whatever, but I excelled just from the sheer amount of hours in a skid steer. I loved it, still love it, and it sounds conceited, but I'm very, very good at it, on it. And changes a little bit with I would still like the old foot controls anyway, never mind. So I'm loving this. We're doing, things are working. And suddenly one day, the guy that I'm working for, he comes up to me on the field, on the Shoaldice Park, and he says, "What did you say to so and so?" And then on Friday, because this was now a Monday morning, and I have all this is documented too. By the way, it's not hearsay. I can back everything up. So I said, "Oh man, what, are you kidding?" And he goes, "Yeah, she really was really upset and this and that, and came in my office and closed the door and so now I am like, you are kidding me." So the story, and I will say, is exactly, and I'll have witness, if they would have just investigated this. All it was a Friday, was an afternoon, and the other crew, the crew that was only there for one day, they were now going to leave. I knew them, from work inside, no problem, no issues, whatever. And she is from anyway, she's from the UK, I guess, like as an immigrant here, and anyways, working. And so they're leaving, and I said, oh, hey, you guys, you lazy bums, what are you doing this Friday? And it's like, oh, the guy that she works with all the time says to her, he says, I am going to a birthday party with my boys. And I said, oh, awesome. And that girl always works with this guy. And so then I said, and since you are with him, since you're always with him, I guess that's why you're going. And then she yells out, I'm not under anybody, or it was something like this. And I'm like, ho, you know, that's not what I'm saying. So anyway, I just thought, I don't, she goes, I don't answer to anybody. Yeah, I don't answer to anybody. I don't need anybody. And then I said, okay, keep telling yourself that, right? Kind of like, okay, come on, man. And then that was it. I swear, that was it. So anyways, now backing up to the Monday when my supervisor or my actual boss comes up to me and tells me this. Then I tell him, I said, man, and she had some whole other kind of thing added to it. I said something about her being, not being able to be on the baseball diamonds and it was some crazy other stuff. And I said, Mike, I am telling you right now, this has to be stopped. And I said, it really sucks. And I said, but I'm telling you right now, I want an investigation, and I want, I tell him this verbally. So he goes, yeah, okay. Now he starts walking away, and I think, man, I got to do. So I immediately make a text, and I put on the text without prejudice, and I kind of spell it out. And because now I know all about OH&S. I was trained the trainer, all that stuff, and I know that there's a procedure that has to be followed. So this was a workplace incident that had potential to be very dangerous to me, which ultimately became that. So right at that point, I write him a text, and I said, it really sucks, because now I'm going to have to protect myself legally. And so whatever, when we go through the investigation and all that kind of stuff, because that's how you have to do it, right, with OH&S. And so anyway, I sent him that text, and I have it. It's recorded, and there's no question about it. Well, what ends up happening is, as the time goes on, suddenly I'm not getting any kind of work in there, and so it's like, oh, this and that, and I have a whole pile of emails and so on going back and forth. And I'm not saying anything because of the nature of this. That's what screwed me ultimately, is that I honored, keeping my mouth shut. Because of this kind of, because she had said she was claiming some sexual innuendo or something. So, of course, as a guy and an older guy, you get very freaked out at this stuff. And that's exactly how it was. So nothing's happening, but I'm staying quiet because I'm thinking, okay, I'm waiting for us to have our meeting together. All of us to have our meeting, and then we would do whatever, we would establish whatever, and then they make their decision. And that's how it works with occupational health and safety. They would have to file that they also would have to let the primary contractor on site there, Rocky Cross DKI, know, and they would also have to send it to the owner, which is the City of Calgary. It's very, very clear. OH&S and all the procedures, everything is very clear, very clear. So then suddenly one day out of the blue, finally I'm going, what is going on, you guys? What is going on? I have other kind of scenario, and there might be some personal kind of thing from the one guy, however, motivation, I don't know. Either way, and I'm a good operator, maybe I'm not well-liked personally, I don't know. Either way, he then sends me this email, and this is all documented, and he goes, hey Ron, sorry man, you know what? We just don't have the work anymore, man. And, so sorry, we got to lay you off. But hey, we know it's tough to find a job, so we're going to give, we offering you 2 full weeks. You just come in, sign, bring in the truck, and let's just be on our way. And I'm saying, oh yeah, fine, sure. This is to run away from this duty that you have. You have a legal duty, if not even a human rights. And oh no, we gotta see you. I come in, have to give my keys. They want me to sign. I say, I am not signing that horseshit. And they say, okay, all right, well, have a good life, basically. And now I'm out. So first thing I did is I sent my whole thing to human rights, and I thought they would freak out. They did nothing of that. I thought things were going to move immediately. After the first week, nothing happened. So then I sent a letter to the primary contractor. I sent him a letter. I said, hey, have you got the thing going on? I got in touch with OH&S. I told them about the thing. I said that, this had to be investigated. After, all of a sudden, I'm waiting. I'm thinking OH&S, all this stuff. It goes on and on and on. A month, there's, details in there I'm kind of avoiding, or not avoiding them, but so I try to find out what's going on, and OH&S says, oh no, we don't have to investigate because you weren't an employee. So what are you talking about? Well, they fired you and they have the right to fire. Yeah, but not until we so OH&S backs up this company because they know, they didn't know at first, but once they found out that the obligation came back to them, because see, if they were just on their own, they could do it to me. But because I'm under the umbrella of the city, and that is where this whole scenario is, they are liable, they will be liable, and until I have no breath, I will push it, because it's not only for me, this is like, and it's so simple. So at the end of the day, Danielle Smith and Mike Ellis, they are involved, like I have a whole kind of thing through this. They are deeply involved, and for over a year, I have so much data, so much everything about this. So it's called malfeasance or misfeasance of public office by public officials. She knows all about me, and so does he. But they are not coming clean, because it will be, seriously, it literally could be millions of dollars if you look at it from a misfeasance point of view. Like if you look at the history of that. So, but the real truth of this is, I have a charter right, a human right, a charter human right for a due process of law. I am demanding Danielle Smith and Mike Ellis make this happen so that I can have my due process of law for the OH&S workplace incident that was never investigated from June 19th, 2024. And it's such crap. And I don't know how else to do it, but this is now my video, and I hope this gets somewhere. I hope it gets legs. I hope it gets attention. And all my thanks to anybody for helping me to make this all come to wherever it needs to go. Danielle Smith and Mike Ellis are fraudulent, criminal public officials. Okay.